by luring them into debt they can't possibly carry. The recent recession only enhanced the problem, as an increase in financial woes fueled a desperation for seemingly easy outs like quick credit and payday loans. Financial regulatory reform may end the worst abuses, but these businesses permeate our society to such a degree it will take much more to successfully fight back against the fleecing of working Americans. My next guest, Gary Rivlin, exposes this seedy industry in his new book, Broke USA, From Pawn Shops to Poverty Inc., How the Working Poor Became Big Business. Gary Rivlin joins me now. Gary, thanks so much for being on.
Hi, Chris.
This is a fantastic book, and I want you to talk us through how this industry kind of went from the mom-and-pop pawn shop to a multi-billion-dollar business.
You know, you started off with old-line businesses like pawn shops, which have been around for centuries, check cashers since the 30s, and they were essentially attacked by these entrepreneurs who got money from Wall Street, they got money from the biggest banks, and now you have businesses like Cash America, 650 pawn shops booking $1 billion in revenues, 150 million in pre-tax profits. But at the same time, you saw in the last 25 years all this innovation. Subprime credit cards became big, huge business in the 1990s. The payday loan was invented in 1993, and now, less than 20 years later, there are as many payday loan shops in this country as there are McDonald's, Burger Kings, instant tax mills. You have a long, long list of businesses. There's a lot of creative energy being put into the poverty industry because there's so much money to be made.
One of the things you talk about in the book that was a place where this sort of thing is going on, I hadn't necessarily thought about, are the tax mills. A lot of tax preparation places are essentially functioning now as payday lenders.
Right, I mean, there's a certain brilliance to this business. There's once a year where the working poor feel rich, and that's at tax time because of the earned income tax credit dates back to the Nixon era. People who make $20,000, $30,000 a year, have a couple of kids, they're going to come into a tax refund of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So lo and behold, H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, two newer companies, they start opening up shops in neighborhoods specifically where there was a family income of less than $30,000, and they would be selling at a very high premium, triple-digit interest rates. They'd be selling instant tax returns. So instead of waiting the 2 or 3 weeks for the IRS, these are people who are so desperate they'll pay this huge premium for their money today or tomorrow. And on top of that, by the way, what they're charging these places for the actual tax preparation is also enormous. It's a few $100s for very easy, simple tax returns. It's a $4 billion a year business that lasts about a month.
Let me ask you this, and real quickly, we have a minute left here. You've written that you think that the financial reform bill that is on the verge of being passed could actually clear some of these abuses. How do you think that's going to work?
Well, it's one place. This new agency is going to be one place where all the laws are being enforced. But it's hardly a panacea to what I'm writing about. There's talk in Washington of a national usury cap of 36%, which would essentially, in a stroke of a pen, put the payday lenders out of business. That's not part of this. Check cashers. A third of the states have no cap on the rates that check cashers can charge. 10% of the face value of a check is not uncommon. This law does nothing about this. So this is a good step. It's really important to monitoring the mortgage market, and it helps on the payday, check cashing, instant tax front, but there's a lot more that would need to be done.
Gary Rivlin, author of Broke USA. It's a fantastic book. I really highly recommend it. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight.
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Tonight in our phone survey, we asked you, who do you